And we're starting off with AEW Collision, as this week's show saw the crowning of new AEW World Tag Team Champions. The new champions in question are Big Bill and Ricky Starks, who got the early advantage over FTR by attacking Dax and Cash before the match really got going. Big Bill used every inch of his 7-foot frame to chokeslam Cash Wheeler through the announce table before Harwood tried to make a comeback despite having an injured arm from the attack. Starks was directing traffic from the apron and told Bill to keep chokeslamming Harwood when he had the chance to pin him, which would have made some fans hope for an FTR title retention. After all, how often have we seen a heel not go for the pin when they could, instead wanting to show off, only for this cockiness to come back and bite the heel on the backside? Instead though, it was Bill and Starks who got the win, and Starks speared Harwood, who was being held by Bill, to win the gold. Bill and Starks essentially squashed one of the greatest tag teams working today, giving fans a match and finish they would have never predicted, and adding some excitement to the tag division. That's not to say that FTR were boring as champions, far from it, but after 5 months with the gold, it seemed the pair had done everything that was needed. Now, Starks and Big Bill have a chance to put their own spin on the titles, and what did you think of this result? Let us know in the comments below. It was in the closing moments of AEW Collision that fans would get to see Adam Copeland, who had plenty to say about his AEW run thus far. Copeland first put over Jim Ross for paying off his college debt back in the day before moving on to talking about what happened on Dynamite with Christian Cage. Copeland was cut short by his former friend on the big screen before Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne came out to attack the Rated R superstar. Copeland tried to fight them off but ended up being chokeslammed by the Living Dinosaur, and Darby Allin would emerge before the heels could use a chair on Copeland. When Allin hesitated to hit Wayne though, he ended up getting taken out too, and Collision went off the air with Allin's arm being struck with a steel chair. With Copeland's in-ring debut set to happen on AEW Dynamite Title Tuesday, expect the WWE Hall of Famer to be less than 100% when he faces Luchasaurus in a match that'll be worth checking out. Timeless Toni Storm remained on top form during Collision, as she handed Kiera Hogan a script she wanted her opponent to follow, only for Hogan to rip it up and throw it at her. This offended the Timeless wrestler, who had the crowd firmly on her side, but despite the early advantage from Storm, Hogan was able to take control later in the bout. This could have easily been a quick match to make Storm look good, but it ended up being a back-and-forth fight that made both women look good instead of just one. There was a surprising amount of butt-related offense in the match, with Hogan chopping Storm across her backside, while Storm would bite Hogan's buttocks in what was certainly a choice. In the end, it was Storm who'd hit Storm Zero to get the win, and between this match, her entrance, and her presentation, the former AEW Women's World Champ continues to knock it out of the park. This week's Collision was a very strong episode both in terms of the quality of the action and the storyline progression that we saw on the show. Bryan Danielson and Kyle Fletcher had an excellent match, likely the best for Fletcher in his appearances for AEW, and Danielson remained in top form. There wasn't a weak segment or match on the entire show, and if AEW wanted to make sure fans stayed tuned instead of switching to WWE Fastlane, it did a good job. During the kickoff show preceding WWE Fastlane, Jade Cargill made her TV debut for the promotion, arriving at the event in a white SUV and speaking with WWE's CCO, Triple H. Cargill isn't the first major name from AEW to jump to WWE, and if WWE has their way, she won't be the last, as Cody Rhodes made his way back to WWE in April of last year. Speaking during the post-Fastlane press conference, Rhodes was asked about Cargill and said he's very excited to see the former AEW TBS champion sign with WWE. With that said, Rhodes added that it's not his job to try and be a liaison for his former peers at AEW, and doesn't intend to be a part of WWE's plans to try and coax talent away from Tony Khan. Rhodes, who admitted to having a drink or two with Jey Uso after their win, instead wants those in AEW and those in WWE to do what's right for them, so it doesn't sound like he'll allow WWE to make use of him in the war over talent. Several AEW contracts are coming to an end this year, and WWE is interested in signing some key names, but whatever plans they have, Cody Rhodes wants no part of it. While it was exciting to see Jade Cargill appear on the Fastlane kickoff show, some fans were disappointed about her involvement, or lack thereof, with the event. Some had speculated that Cargill would appear during the show, possibly in an angle with Rhea Ripley, and while Ripley did do a backstage segment at Fastlane, Jade was nowhere to be seen. During the press conference, Triple H was asked about Cargill's future and when fans can expect to see her regularly on WWE TV. He said, "When she's ready to blow the roof off everything we do. There is one thing that I am, it's patient for stuff like this. One thing I've learned about her in the short time I've known her is that she's ready for it all. She's ready to dig in, she's ready to work her ass off, she wants to be the best." Triple H added that the last thing he wants to do is put Cargill in a position she's only sort of ready for, and is therefore not going to rush things for someone WWE has massive plans for. Not only is Cargill expected to be a top star on screen, but the belief is that WWE will handle her in a way to try and coax other AEW stars over by showing how well all elite talent are being treated. At WWE Fastlane, Carlito made his return to WWE TV as the surprise partner of Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar and scored the team's win over Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. Carlito's return was teased on SmackDown when Rey was seen making a phone call to a mystery partner, which was of course Carlito, but this wasn't WWE's original plan of bringing him in. PW Insider reports that after Carlito's impressive outing at Backlash, there were plans for Carlito to return to TV in Japan, but those plans were dropped. It wasn't mentioned what exactly the idea would have been, but it was said that WWE wanted a better storyline entrance, which was what we saw at Fastlane. It was also noted that Carlito was signed over the summer by the company after the massive reaction he received at the Backlash pay-per-view, and that he'll be a part of SmackDown going forward. Carlito already has a new piece of merchandise which was released mere moments after his Fastlane appearance, and what do you want to see next for the former US and Intercontinental Champion? At this time, John Cena is in the midst of his longest run with WWE we've seen in years, but as the old saying goes, all good things must come to an end. On the press conference, Cena was asked about the SAG-AFTRA strike being over and said that he will be returning to Hollywood soon enough. Cena explained that he was in the middle of a project when the strike happened and that he wants to get back on schedule when he can, and will likely be wrapping up this run with Crown Jewel next month. Cena said, "This isn't the last one, but the last one is on the horizon, and fans should enjoy the greatest of all time while they can." And we're ending today with more from the Fastlane press conference, as this PLE wasn't just the first of the TKO Holdings era, but also the first since Adam Copeland left WWE and joined AEW. During the press conference, Triple H was asked about AEW's hottest new signing and said that the time was right for both Copeland and WWE to part ways. The game said that there's no animosity against Copeland, adding that he is very happy for him, and stated that he messaged the former Edge after his AEW debut to make his feelings clear. Triple H also said that Adam Copeland leaving WWE creates opportunity, and there is a line of people ready to take that spot, and it's great that there is no bad blood with Copeland and WWE.
During a recent episode of SmackDown, Corey Graves quoted famous line associated with CM Punk's time in Ring of Honor, sparking speculation among fans. Graves later backtracked, claiming it was merely movie reference, but the intrigue didn't stop there. Surprisingly, Corey Graves delivered yet another shocking statement during Fastlane last night. He uttered the phrase, "life on the edge of a lightning bolt," a direct match to a line CM Punk shared on his Instagram story during the 10th anniversary of his partnership with Paul Heyman.
WWE has been constantly dropping subtle hints of CM Punk on the programming. Couldn't be a coincidence again. Sound off in comments below.